can. Let's see. Okay, Tang Thing, you go ahead and. Okay. Are you there?
Oh, me?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Namos fundamental teaches Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo fundamental teaches Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo fundamental teaches Sakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now thus I come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing. I vow to fathom the thus common true and actual meaning.
Okay. Thank you. We can do 1 minute meditation. Okay, go ahead. We can start it. Okay, all right. So last time we stopped at the wave, attachment and becoming, right? So let me quickly review a little bit. So last time we talked about the craving. It includes like and dislike of passion, whatever, right? And usually it relates to the mana consciousness, the self view, self pride, self love, and self delusion, right? Self delusion, that means it represents for the self, and self from the self view to self pride, self love, that belongs to the craving, right? Because that is and also when we're talking about the craving, usually we are craving for the three ram, that means desire ram, the form ram, and the formless ram. And okay, even though the formless ram, they are desired due to the meditation. Okay, and this is where that happens. Okay, and okay, let me quickly go through it. And we know that ignorance and craving. And when we're talking about the desire or craving, this is another name for the ignorance, but this is not the root of the this is not the root of the ignorance, but this is the range. Just like the tree, you have the root and also the range, right? So this is like the range. The ignorant is mean the root. You understand that, William? Unmute.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, ignorance being the root, that makes sense because the ignorance of self-delusion is what allows for craving to come into being, so that it being the root makes sense.
Yeah, the craving is the range, right? Mm-hmm. So That they also the craving is also the name in also the ignorant, but it's in the range. It's not the root. So okay. That's why these two come together. We stuck in the reverse cycle. And when we learn about the attachment, due to the craving, we we are we are cleansed on the desire. So there are four lynching, right? Attachment. The first one is clean on the desire. It's craving for the five desire. That means it's the money, material, beauty, fame, eating, and sleep. Right? That's the five desire. And also the five sense object. That means the eye. The object of the eye is the form, the sound, the odor, the smelling, the tasting. That is what we talk about. The cleansing on the view. So we know that there are lynching on the opinion, conception, view, undertaking, ideology, position. Those we're talking about the view, and it's very difficult to when they holding on the view. It's very difficult for us to penetrate, help them to remove that. So lynching on the wrong view, right? Later on, we will learn about the 62 wrong view. You will see why wrong view is very important, that we need to understand that. Clinching on the view, that is the stubborn opinion in his or her prejudice to be the most correct. Okay, and this is view of grasping at a proposition. That means this is the view grasping on the ritual, the wrong ritual, or the wrong ceremony, like the different religion. They attach to those ritual and ceremony. You understand this, William?
Yeah. So that if there's some, rituals that someone practiced before discovering the Buddhist teachings to like hold, or even, anyone clinging to rituals that are like, sacrifices or rituals involving intoxication, or, any of these other things that further ignorance are problematic.
And also the people who are very ascetic, they can sleep on the nail, the nail bed, the thorn bed, or whatever. Those things, it doesn't help them to liberate. It's only the physical, what do you call, ascetic, right? They try to suffer the physical as much as they can, so they can be able to they think that they can purify their mind by doing that. That's why Buddha, when he practiced the 6-year hardship ascetic in the forest, and you see the whole skeleton from his skin, right? And that eventually he gave up because he know that extreme hardship cannot help him to gain enlightenment. And enjoy on the extreme, it doesn't help either. So he choose the middle way. That's called the Eightfold Path. Tammy, you understand it, Tammy?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. And also right now, okay, it's a lot of things, right? So on self, this is what we believe that the permanent self, the eternal soul, that is one master. Okay, all right. In the other religion, they also have they believe that there is eternal soul. What do you think? Is that similar to our Alaya consciousness?
Well, the Aliyah maybe, it's for the individual consciousness associated with it may have some, it's unique in a sense, but it's impermanence. Its content is also impermanent, and the essence of the Aliyah is undifferentiated. There's not a self that's present in there that remains. I mean, the essence of it is the Buddha nature, and
even though the Buddha nature is that can you say the Buddha nature is also considered as the eternal? So
no, because there's no marks to it. It has no form. It has no description. There's no thing there to refer to as a self.
Okay. Yeah, that in the right direction, because when they attach to, when they claim that they the eternal soul, they cannot be able to describe what is the eternal soul, and they can not even know what does that mean, right? But at least in Buddhism, we know what is the Alaya consciousness is, right? The Alaya consciousness, yes, that is correct. Due to, well, even though every being have the Buddha nature, it's very clear, right? Due to the ignorance, we arrive the fourth thought, right? That is where the Alaya consciousness come in. That's the only time we have Alaya consciousness. Now, if we be able to transform all the consciousness into wisdom, that means no more Alaya consciousness. And wisdom is not the entity, because the Buddha nature is the true nature of the Buddha nature is the emptiness, right? And but when we're talking about emptiness, later on when we learn about the Dharma realm, dependent arising, you will understand this concept very clear in the Adornment Flower Sutra. Very clear. I can give you an example so you understand. You know that the Buddha nature, when the Buddha practiced, right, he enlightened, he become Buddha. That Buddha nature turned into three bodies, right? The Dhammakaya, that means the Dhamma body, the reward body, or we call the retribution body, and the transformation body. From one into three, right? And the Dhamma body is the universe. That means all the universe solar embody at the Dhamma body. That means it's everywhere. It appears everywhere in the universe. That's why the Buddha said that everywhere is the Buddha, right? He appears everywhere because it's a universe solar. Does that make sense? So then that's why if we say they eternal law, eternal soul, well, when they say that, that means they're talking about that something entity. But in Buddhism, there is no such thing called entity. Everything comes from here and from the Western. And we will learn more into that later on when we have a chance. Yeah. And we learned that very exciting in Vietnamese class, but I think we will have a chance to do that. But one by one. All right. And also wrapping the defilement, often clinching on the retribution of the RAM is called wrapping. For example, when we are human, right? We are attached to the human body. That's what we call clinching on the retribution of the retribution, right? When we born into the heaven realm, we attach to the heaven being body. In the animal realm, we attach to the animal body. So far and so forth. That's what we call linking on the wrist. Does it make sense? Right? Due to the extreme attachment, that means we craving for existence, right? The craving and attachment. This is similar to the ignorance. The becoming, it will similar to the mental formation. You see the traveling, right? The first two, ignorant and mental formation. Yeah, let me go back here. Yeah, ignorant, mental formation. Ignorant is the same thing with the desire and the possession or attachment. These two together, it represents the ignorance. We will learn that. The mental formation, this is where we create karma. It's similar to craving for existing or becoming. Because we want to have this, this is the time we create karma. Then when we die, the power of the karma will will lead us to the next birth. Right? Therefore, we have aging and death. Any questions so far? William?
Oh, no.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So the becoming, that means we want to have that, right? So bad. And that is the time we create karma. But in here, it says that it's often considered to be opposite of the word no, none, right? Okay, now here it says exist, but not really exist, right? Because the Buddha true nature, it means impermanent nature plus the no self plus the no self nature, that equal to the emptiness, right? The emptiness. But the emptiness is equal to the Buddha nature. Um, um, let's see. Let me give you an example. That time I gave the example to the group that you know Steve Jobs, right? He very good at technology, right? One time he went to the conference with the Microsoft guy. He then Microsoft guy in 2003 they invent the tablet, and they insult him that if you want to invent something, this is the real invention. So after that, he went back due to the insulting, right? He went back and he contemplate day and night using his deep knowledge, rich knowledge about the technology inside his alaya. He visualized the new product. And that means the mana consciousness is the one between the six consciousness, that means the mind consciousness and the alaya consciousness. It upload and download to bring data back and forth. So he can have the data in the short mental memory of the mind consciousness, so he can visualize, he can contemplate. until he see the picture of the new product. Maybe he come up with something like an iPad. And now he used the mind consonant, right? He put that into control the first 5, 10 consonants. That means the body and the mouth to create to draw the prototype, right? What does it mean? Craving, right? Craving, desire to want to. That means he craving for the new invention, right? He craving for the new invention, and he go back and forth hit the alaya consonant to get all the knowledge he had to visualize. So then, after he be able to visualize some kind of so he also attached to those design, right? Whatever the he attached to whatever he visualized, right? When he attached, then he also when he had something that he liked the best, then he wanted to create the protocol for that. That means he control the mouth and the body from the 5 sense consonant to create the protocol, trying or whatever. That's what he could craving for existence, right? Craving for existence. Until the engineering team approves he want to have something similar to the phone, so it become iPhone. Now, if he okay, everything okay, then he go to the mass production. It becoming, right? Becoming. Does it make sense? Mm. And also becoming, not only that, becoming also they craving for the existing in the desired form, in the form realm, in the formless realm as well. Okay. So I quickly go through that, right? Okay. Now, bird is the next one. William, you want to read the bird?
Certainly. Birth or jati means the proactively attracted to the transformation stream due to the motive of becoming, power of karma. This is the arising of mind physics phenomena. Birth implies production, birth by womb, birth by transformation, etc. Means the appearance of a new being existing in the life stream of all things and flowing according to the power of karma. The sentient beings in the 3 realms divide into 4 types of births. Womb-born in the case of mammals, egg-born is in the case of birds, moisture-born, the worms or mosquitoes are born from damp place. Birth by transformation, that is spontaneous birth without the womb, eggs, or dampness, as in the case of deities and beings in the hells. However, due to the lack of understanding of the doctrine of dependent origination, that everything is illusory and has no self-nature, so it is mistakenly accepted from life there is a birth. From the 12-link dependent origination, the birth link does include all other links: ignorance, mental formation, consciousness, becoming.
Okay, so what do you understand about this thing?
That the birth is propelled by the momentum of the karma. It's driven by that, which in turn it originates with the craving and attachment. And yeah, based on the karma, and as we've talked about in the past, the consciousness as well, that determines the quality of the birth.
Okay, then the birth we have four forms, right? 4 types, right?
Mm-hmm.
And beside the consciousness and the power of the karma, is there any criteria can make the difference for the birth, for the rebirth?
Well, I think karma karma takes affinity into account too. So I think that's really it. Karma and consciousness. Karma would probably also take into account like intercession of bodhisattvas, because there would need to be some sort of affinity with them for that to.
Karma and the power of the karma, because the consciousness, it's Alaya consciousness, it carries the power of the karma, right? Inside, because that is the content of the Alaya consciousness, right?
Yes.
So that is for the ordinary being like us. That means the not the enlightened one. What about the enlightened one?
So vows are the other thing that can drive rebirth.
That's correct. So that means beside that too, the vow is the third criteria that makes the difference. Even though we are not the enlightened one, can we have the vow to help us on the rebirth?
Yes.
This is important. Usually, when we if we don't have vow, and when we dead, when we pass away, right? Okay, tell me, can you, because you in my everyday class, right? Every night, you will learn about the bottle. Tell me what you understand from this too.
What do I understand from the Bardo?
What about?
So it's all, I don't know, it's all pretty disturbing to me, really. But when you're in that state, then you're attracted to your parents. And so you'll join in with, if you're going to be born a male, you'll be attracted to the mother. And if you're going to be born a female, you're attracted to the father. And then as long as everything's in check with the parents as far as their health and not using any contraceptives, then you'll be born to whatever parents you're attracted to.
Oh, for this topic, you don't feel comfortable?
Well, it's not that I don't feel comfortable. It's just it's gross. Like, to think that you want to join in intercourse with your parents, like, that's disgusting to me.
No, the reason is because at that time we cannot be able to distinguish, right? Because we don't know that is our future parent. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because
So you just,
because
you just,
we control by our desire, we control by our karma. And
okay, so like, what about if you're born to a mother that was raped or something? I mean, so you just had desire to be, I mean, I don't see where you would have desire for that.
Which one?
Like, if you're born to a mother that was raped during your birth or during your conception, then how could that be? Because if you're only going to be, if you're only going by desire, then why would you desire, or do you not even understand what's going on?
Oh, this desire is just like the positive and the negative attraction, right? When we're talking about male or female, we're talking about just like the positive and the negative attraction. It's nothing else. Because we at that time we been controlled by the power of the karma, and that's why we are ignorant. We cannot be able to distinguish. This is our future parent. William, do you understand?
Yeah. What always surprised me about this when learning it was the similarity to the Oedipal cycle that we see in Western psychology, which most people are familiar with it. I'm gonna close my door here for a second. Most people are familiar with it, where it's the story of Oedipus is like, the idea of it is that everybody wants to kind of kill their same sex.
What is the etiquette? I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
The Oedipal cycle Well, it comes from a Greek myth about Oedipus. Oedipus was a young man who received a prophecy that he would end up having intercourse with his mother. And so he left home in order to avoid that. And because he left home and lost track of his mother, his mother wasn't his real mother. She was adopted and he didn't know that. So he ended up actually, like by chance, living with his real mother and then having intercourse with her, not knowing it was his mother. And that was like a Greek myth. But then Freud, when he talked about an Oedipus complex, he talked about this thing he noticed in people, that everyone seemed to have a suppressed desire for their opposite sex parent and a suppressed resentment for the same sex parent. Not a conscious thing, not an intentional thing, but a deeply subconscious, unintentional thing. So in learning about this in Buddhism, it made me wonder if Freud ever read about the Bardo realm and if that's where he got that idea. But I definitely understand what both you and Tammy are saying, because from the perspective of Tammy, like if we knew it was a parent, like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Or yeah, why would anyone have karma or consciousness to be attracted to a situation where it was non-consensual and forced? But I would say, well, people do that to other people. People do force themselves upon other people. So that person who forces themselves upon that person, they obviously have some attraction to it. So someone in the Bardo realm, if they had the right consciousness and karma, that they might still be attracted to one of those parents because it might resonate with something that is in their alaya. So there's like, I think, all sorts of people that are out there that most of us, we don't have to meet or interact with.
Okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, think about this. When we come to become the children for the parent, right? There are 4 different type of conditions, right? The first one is we come to pay the gratitude, right? Because either father or the mother, it shaped this person's life in the past. Now he come to pay for that. Second type is opposite. That means he come and he want to revenge, because that means either one of the parent or two, they harm him in the past. So before they become the parent and the children relationship, they don't know each other, right? Does it make sense? Or whatever relationship between parent and children or sibling, it's just affinity. In Buddhism, we call affinity. And affinity, usually we have positive commit affinity or negative commit affinity, or near or far, right? And the third type of the affinity is he want to pay the debt, or he want to collect the debt. So that are the 4. When we're talking about the debt, we're talking about the material. That means pay the debt. That means the person who, he own either one of the parents some type of money or property or whatever in the past. Now he have to pay for it. That means he will become the son and the daughter for his family. So before that, they don't know each other. They just like a stranger, because the affinity like this tie them together and create this kind of relationship. Does it make sense, Tammy?
Yeah, so I think that makes more sense, because like what William was saying is exactly what was so disturbing to me. That understanding of where it was coming from, that's exactly where I was coming from. So that's what was kind of bothering me with it all. But it sounds more like it's not that they're attracted to like the intercourse, or they're attracted to the parents, it's more of just like it's a magnet. Like it's not desire to be a part of it. It's just the affinity is just more of a magnet. Like they don't even
Right.
really know it's not the energy of what's going on or anything. It's just
No.
the affinity connection that kind of pulls them to those parents at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just an affinity. They are nothing else. Just affinity. It pull them together, and they cannot control that.
I have another question for you,
Yeah.
kind of along the same lines. So
Yeah.
in the precepts, one of the precepts is no sexual misdeeds, or something to that extent.
Right.
But
No,
when you,
no sexual misdeeds, right?
but
No,
when you
no
read
sexual
into it,
misconduct, huh?
when you read it, it says like, you know, that it just basically has to be with love, like, you know, so you're not going to take advantage of anybody or anything like that. But then it said not only would you do that with human beings, but with deities also. So does that mean like all kinds of deities and beings can kind of be a part of anything? I mean, that's kind of disturbing to me too when I read that.
Okay, think about this. Okay, first of all, when we're talking about sexual misconduct, it means that if we have a spouse, right, we only pay for to our spouse, right? Because outside that means that is the misconduct, right? Now we come to the form that deity, that means the heaven being, right? It's very rare. It's very rare. But it happened in the past. Yet, deity, because they can go down to earth, we cannot go up there. But usually, deity never want to go down to earth because they look at this earth is the most terrible. They don't want to return here. They want to get out of this as soon as possible. But you know what? Everything could happen. That's why the Buddha said that it means that it already happened in the past. But this is very, very, we don't see this thing in our life. It's not happened in our life. But maybe some, okay, now I understand. Okay, that's that. Okay, look at this. When the human, right, the most blessing human, when the human reach the highest blessing, they can live up to 84,000 years, right? The lifespan. And they also have maybe at that time the human being and the heaven being, they kind of flow each other. You remember some of the and maybe at that time that's how they come together. We don't know how that happened, but maybe that. But in right now, with this we call the ending age of the Dharma, right? No one want to come down here. This is the most terrible.
So what about like the ones that might want to come up? So if they can come down or could back in the before, then like I would imagine that like lustful beings would be attracted to that also and may be drawn towards it.
Remember, think about it. Not talking about even not about only the deity, right? About invisible being, right?
Right.
Whoever come to us because they have the affinity with us in the past. Well, when we're talking about the deity being, they are just like us anyway. But our lifespan is very short, but their lifespan is long because the blessing, the only difference is the blessing. But eventually they are the same with us. They're not different because they still stuck in the death and rebirth cycle. As long as we still in this cycle, eventually we cross each other in one form or the other. Does it make sense, Hemi?
Yeah, it makes sense.
See? And also you see that when I don't know that happen to when you if the invisible being it come up to you in the dream, right? And they come up very often. That means they have a connection with you, and they might need help from you. And that's why, well, if we know how to help, that means we recite the sutra to help them, so they can be able to liberate from it. That is that's what we're doing every night right now. So that happened. Actually, when I was, let me tell, I rarely tell this thing to anyone anyway. When I was 20 years old, I guess, maybe. No, yeah, around 20. That time I was in college, right? In university. Every time I rode the car to school, right? In my mind, the I saw a lot of beings very suffering come to, and and um, and they are very suffer, and they want me to help them. And you know what? I feel so sad as well. I feel suffer as well because I cannot do anything to help them at this moment. I'm still a student. It happened for 5 years straight, every day. The same, almost the same image is appear in my mind. This is not in the dream, but it's in the real life. But my mind, I divide into two different parts. One is focused on this, one is driving. But later on, after I graduated, I go to the temple. I recite the sutra and the mantra. Within 3 months, those images disappear from since 96 to now. It's more than 20 years, more than 20 years already. It never occurs. It never come back. And later on, when I read the Asto Bodhisattva in the chapter 8, I think, or chapter 6, I'm not sure. It's talking about this thing. That means our loved one, our relatives, maybe in one lifetime in the past, or 10 lifetime in the past, or even 100 lifetime in the past, they still stuck in the evil realm. And they don't know where they go for help, but they see that someone in the human realm that have a connection with them, they want to go there, and hopefully this person can help them. Because they cannot go out by themselves. I experienced this more than 5 years.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm surprised that like more didn't come to you after they after you helped the ones that more didn't see that you could help and then come to you for help.
Yeah, one night again went to the temple and I recited the correct compassion mantra and recited the Asto Bodhisattva Sutra. 3 months after, those things disappeared for until now. I don't even see those things come back.
So I had a dream the other night, which I forgot about really until you just started talking about this. I just moved houses, and it was like the first or second night I slept here, and
in the new house.
In the new house, and like I had a dream where like a being came to me, but it wasn't like it didn't seem like it's asking for help. It more like it was attacking me,
Oh, wow.
like coming after me and like basically trying to. It felt like take my breath from me. And when I woke up and I was all kind of like freaked out and everything. And even with my son sleeping next to me, I was scared, because I didn't want him to be so close to what had happened. And it's not happened again. But would you say that's something like a being trying to ask for help?
No. In this situation, but it's only the first time, right? It happened to you?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was the second night I slept in this house. And that's why I've been asking the master for some people for them to come bless the house, just because I want to make sure everything's kind of cleaned out.
Okay. What you can, oh my goodness. How long you stay in this house so far?
I've been here for a couple weeks.
Okay, and only happened for one time, right?
One, and then the next night it seemed like something else happened, but it wasn't as extreme. But that night it was definitely really bad.
You know what? If you want, you can recite the Asto Bodhisattva in English, and with your sincere, because actually, when the person who died, right, if they still attach to the house, especially the house, right,
Mm-hmm.
they don't go. That means they stay there, and that is their house. And when we come over and we live in there, they said, "You take over my house." They don't want that.
What about like people coming to, like I said, the master or nuns and monks coming to bless the house? Will that help move them along or not necessarily?
Maybe, but the most important is not only the master or the nun come there. Most importantly, you are the one who do it. We can come there and help you, but not only one time, because this been already there for a while, right? So we need to use the love and kindness and compassion to talk him out. You did what you should say. Well, you know what? Hey, what I think, hey, what we should say. Well, I just moved here. Right. I don't know that whoever I saw in the room, if you are still here, please let me apologize for if I didn't mean to take over whatever you have, but I bought the house or rent the house, whatever. If you happen to be here, that means we do have affinity. We do have affinity, and I don't want to do anything harm to you, and I wish you do not harm to me and my family. So I would like to whatever you want me to help, let me know, and then you can also say that I will recite a mantra, or not recite the sutra to help you to have the peace of mind. And if you want to stay here, you can stay here, but live in harmony, and we can help each other. But if I can be able to recite the sutra often, hopefully you can detach from what, because this is not your world. This is because we should say that I wish you can be born into the good land, into the good realm, so you can enjoy it. Instead of stay here, will be more suffer for you. And when you say that, you have to be ready using the love and kindness and compassion, the mind, because this is important. Don't have anything against them. No ill will, nothing negative against them. Because they know our mind. They can read our mind. If we have any ill will against them, they know right away. And they will harm us because we cannot see them, but they do see us. And we don't want that to happen. So we just say that I don't know what can I help you. If you can let me know. Otherwise, I think it's I hope that I can recite the mantra, the sutra, to help you to have the peace of mind as well as to help you to be liberated from it, and go to and be born into the new, the good realm. So you will free from your suffering. And usually, well, for the when you have the sincere mind and recite the sutra, usually you can help them, because this is the affinity we have with them. So don't be afraid. It's okay. You can recite the sutra, the one that we recite from Monday to Thursday. You remember that? Do you have that sutra?
Yeah, I have it printed off. But so after I say these words, I need to read the whole sutra? All the chapters?
No. One chapter every night.
Okay. So say those words that you just said and then read one chapter every night.
Yeah, just follow exactly the you know that in the first few pages before the sutra, right? You can say
Yes.
that whatever the English you have, you can say it. Then every night you go to the first night you go to first chapter, second night you go back to the beginning, and you do a few pages, and you go to the next chapter, and you do the heart sutra and also the rebirth mantra. And
Okay.
all the other. Let me show you.
Yeah, because I know it has it at the beginning, at the end, those extra pages. And I always, when I read it, I do include those. But I don't really normally read it. So I should go to that room too, right?
Yeah, you can do. Well, when you go to the room, you can read the English instead of you follow us in Vietnamese. You know what I mean?
Right.
Remember, they don't the bottle. They doesn't matter English or Vietnamese. They do understand because they read the mind, right? The language is not a barrier to them. Okay.
So what about the children in our home? Should I not do this when the children are home, or does it not matter because they're here anyways?
Let's try that first. Hopefully I don't think, because we help them. Actually, we want to help them. We don't want to harm them. I don't think they will harm you, because if you use your loving kindness and compassion heart to help them, I think they will be joyful. I don't think they want to harm us anyway. Because at the beginning, when we come over and we live in the house and they don't know what's going on here, that means they think that we try to take over the house without their permission. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, same thing, right? Someone wants to go into our house without asking my permission. Of course, we get angry. Okay, all right. This is but don't tell this to your son, okay? Because he's very young. Don't make him nervous.
Right.
Don't tell to your husband. Just do it by yourself. So don't make anyone be worried. Okay. Just so you just follow this, right? And this is with me. You can do it English here, I guess. This is here English. This is also English here. That's good enough. And you go to the chapter 1, right? After you're done with the chapter 1, you go to 118, I think. 118, and you don't have this, and you can do this. You can do this, yeah. And you go to the Heart Sutra, right? You go to the Heart Sutra, and you don't you don't have this, but it's okay. You can recite the Vietnamese mantra, or this is the what do you call this? The script, right? What do we call? India script. What do I forgot? Huh?
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit. Right, Sanskrit. Right, Sanskrit. And you can read it in like this 3 times, and you can do this, and you do this, and you do this, and you do this, and that's it. After you're done, that is that is one for one day. The next day you go back, you do the same thing. You just go back here. You okay? You go back here. You go back here. You do this one. You do this one, and you do this one, and you go to the second chapter. If you want to know where is second chapter, you go here and you click on the second chapter. I think. I thought I have it here. Where are you? Oh, okay. Second chapter. Yeah. And you do the second chapter. After the second chapter, you go to 118. Then you go to 119. I have to do this, and you go to Heart Sutra. After the Heart Sutra, you can go straight to here. You do this 3 times, and you do this, and then keep going until you go all the way to 13th chapter. If you want to repeat more, it's okay. You can start from beginning. Does it make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Don't worry, because even though the invisible being, if they come to us one way or the other, because they do have affinity with us, we don't want to harm them. Of course, we don't want them to harm us. So this is the best way to protect. Remember, the Buddha teaching, it represents the compassion and loving kindness. That means the mantra from the Buddha, from the Buddhist mantra at the well of the sutra, it always benefits both invisible as well as living. There is no harm. So you don't.
That makes me think of the protection mantras in the Lotus Sutra. And some of the introduction to those mantras is pretty intense, about like, okay, if we recite these mantras for someone who preaches the Lotus Sutra, that these mantras will protect them from like all manner of demons and spirits, but that what will happen to people who try to cause harm to the person who recites these mantras is like, it's really intense. Like their head will get split in half, or they'll like, go to hell for a terribly long time. And I've always wondered about that, because it's like, well, I don't want that to happen to any beings that are trying to hurt me. I just hope, they don't hurt me, but they, somehow they are benefited. Do you know the chapter I'm speaking of?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Most of the mantra, it protects us from those, even we don't want to harm them, but it protects us. Yes, you are right. But you know what? When those beings, those invisible beings, when they see the the one who recite the mantra, they will see the magical form. That means they will not dare to come and harm us, and they automatically withdraw without harm us. Usually, so those things very rare happen. Only the one who really did like the Mara, right? but very rare, very rare. And also remember, when you if you read the Great Compassion mantra, whoever come and harm us, they will. That means the mantra will help them to become compassion toward this person. So basically, that is also the case. The only time I don't know, but the only time that happens is, that means that being is really stupid and really hard-headed, and even though he see the magical form of the mantra, he still he dare to try it when the Buddha is still in the world, right? You remember the six different. A lot of them want to harm the Buddha, even though they know the Buddha is very powerful, but they still want to harm anyway, due to the ignorance, due to the jealousy, due to what can we do, right? We cannot do anything with that. Of course, Buddha doesn't want he doesn't want to harm anyone, but if the one who think about this, in visit the Newton law say that when you punch one punch forward, the force of the opposite, it will be equal. Does it make sense?
Yeah, if the object is fixed, if you can't move the object.
But the opposite force will equal to the force you go forward.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means that when we say that recite this mantra, you will have the great benefit from it. At the same time, the one who try to intend to harm it, it will go all the way back. Oppositely, the same force.
Mm.
Does that make sense to you, Tammy?
Yeah, but isn't the force much stronger? So if you do something to help somebody and then they have the negative, doesn't it like go back to them like 10 times the fold?
Not well, because the we're talking about the blessing that we when we let's say that we offer to the sacred one, right? And we will have a very great blessing from it, even though from the small offer, but we still have a lot of blessing from that for form, right? At the same time, if the one who cursing that sacred one, he will have the negative effect equal to the blessing we have in the opposite way. Does that make sense to you, Tammy?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because this is the universal law. This is not created by Buddha, not created by anyone. This is just the universal law.
So the more sincere and loving with loving kindness that you have, then if they were to go against you, the more extreme their bad karma will be towards them.
Usually they will not, when we are sincere, they will not harm us because I think they should thank us instead of harm us. Because would they stuck here for a long time? They don't know what to do. And
So are they stuck in the ghost realm? Is that where they're stuck at?
Yeah, the ghost realm, right? The ghost realm. Okay. They stuck here and they very suffer. And now, due to attachment, of course, if we come and that means they thought that we want to take something from them. But when we offer the compassion, with the compassion, they will feel it and they will thank you. They don't harm us. Think about it. If someone stranger come and help us, should we harm them? No. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think of all like the ignorant human beings there are in the world. So I'm hoping that like the ghost realm, they're more intelligent because even like, I guess so many beings come from the animal realm here that even when you help them here, they still will wish harm upon you. It's really bizarre, but I've noticed that a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, but if that's the case, but remember, when we recite the mantra or the sutra, we have the protection from the Buddha and the Bodhisattva and also the sacred one. So you don't need to worry about that. And then that means we automatically being protected by them. And also if we use the loving kindness and compassion for this work, you bring benefit to him and to her. So don't worry, we will harm you.
So I'd still be nervous about doing it when the kids are home, even though I know I probably shouldn't be, but I still would because I feel like I'm calling them like towards me, you know? So if I don't do it every day consecutively, it will still work, right? If I skip a couple days and then come back to
Actually, if we recite that a few times, right, for the whole book, 3 times should be good enough. For the whole book, the 13th chapter. Then that means you blessing your own house. You are the one who blessing your own house. That is more guaranteed. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, because you want to make sure, because because the Buddha said that if in this house who recite this mantra or sutra, the people in the house is the one who receive the most benefit. And also from that house within that many miles, they also benefit from it too. Not only within the house, when you recite the mantra. on the sutra. The sutra, you benefit from at least the family in the house, include the invisible being.
Good. So I'll be blessing the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. Because the sutra represents for the compassion and the loving kindness from the Bodhisattva vow, right? You see that in that sutra. Every time when the Bodhisattva saw the suffering being, he make the vow to help the being without condition. So then, and if that kind of mentality, and we should not be afraid. Okay. 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 We can stop right here. Before I talk to this, okay, I will. Okay, hold on. Not this one, sorry. I'm going. Okay, go ahead, John.
In every living being, all minds is one and radiant with light. Share the fruits of peace with heart of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see our heads start confining giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion and wisdom to joy. May kindness find reward, may also relieve the grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of our endless night, because our heart is one. This world of pain turns to paradise. We all become compassionate ones. We all become compassionate ones.
Okay. I will spend a couple of minutes. I